welcome back to the preview show. As always, I'm your host, Nico Sorrell, and I'm joined today by Hunter and Trevor. How are we doing today, boys?
Good. Ready for the Elite Plus.
Ready for some West Coast disc golf. And I'm ready to watch some Pro Tour events.
Yeah, it's going to be sick this weekend. This weekend, we had
the West Coast. That's all that's on my mind. This whole Portland
It's going to be exciting.
The real Portland Open's going down on Friday at Milo
course.
And at, what's the other course we're playing? Timber something?
Timber Park.
That's the real Portland Open.
That's the one you need to be actually tuning in for.
And my
this
predictions are all based on that. So
Nice. Awesome. Well,
Perfect.
This weekend, we have the Portland Open presented by Latitude 64, and this is actually going to be held at, once again, the Glendevere Golf Course, no longer incorporating Blue Lakes in, and Glendevere is separated into two courses, east and west, and this tournament is going to be held over 4 days, so it's going to be a lot of disc golf.
Yeah. I'm interested to see. I don't really know why they're splitting it into two courses. Hunter actually thought up earlier, and maybe it has something to do with the golf course logistics, but I also see that being kind of weird because it was like, why would they have to switch half and half? I don't know.
it might just be that it's 4 rounds.
I think disc golf sees 4 rounds and they get the itch to we can't be at the same place. Yeah, they can't be at the same place for 4 rounds because
It's a shame if we play different tees or pin locations.
Yeah, I mean, I looked right, and at a golf course, they have those options available. I looked at, these are new layouts. From what I understand, both of them are different than last year's, at least in some respects.
Yeah.
And they look like really cool courses. They're long, a lot of hazard and OB. They look like they incorporate a lot of the water and the trees really nicely. So I think the courses will play really well. But in my mind, it's how about we just make a course? Because it's one thing if you have a tournament where, you have two very different style of courses, a woods and an open. And the idea is let's test them at both of these courses, have a cut eventually, and then test them again or something like that. But these courses, we'll have to see how they play out. But because of the property, you'd have to imagine, and looking at even the caddy sheets,
They look so similar.
they got to have a similar vibe to them. So what's the point in having 2 of them? And another thing is the men and women are on the same course round 1. So it's not even that was the point. So that's what I'm curious about is why did they do that? What's the point in that? Why split up the rounds like that? Especially when it's the same exact property. I just don't quite understand that unless they're trying to just test another layout and they wanted to sprinkle it in. It's also weird that they're playing the one course the first 2 rounds and then another course the second 2. So I don't know. I don't really know what the mindset is behind that. I mean, it's not. I think as a viewer, it's just discombobulating. I don't like having to remember 2 separate courses, and especially when it's a 2 and 2, when it's how am I going to recap what happened in the first 2 rounds when it was essentially a different event? You were playing a different course.
Yeah.
It's weird.
I don't mind it at Ledgestone, where there is Northwoods and then Eureka Temp, where
these holes are going to blend
you're
together.
not going to mess up. You're not going to mix up a hole on Northwoods Black with a hole at Eureka Temp.
Right.
But I mean, it's similar to the Las Vegas Challenge, especially when they had 3 courses.
Yeah, exactly. They
I
all
mean,
mesh
if you
together.
held a gun to my head and showed me a hole and told me which course is this on,
No idea.
It's a shot in the dark.
Especially
Luckily,
when all the
Vegas,
courses
I
are
like my
named
odds.
after the same company.
Yeah. So I get similar vibes here where you're going to get to day 3. By day 4, and when we're recapping, you're going to say a hole that something happened on, and I'm going to be picturing the wrong hole.
Yeah.
Because even going into this, I'm already confused with the OTB Open. I don't know why. I can't separate these courses in my head. But for some reason, the OTB Open and Portland Open are the same event.
Golf courses blend quite a bit.
I think it's just the West Coast golf course vibe. They're Portland Open and the OTB Open, I believe, from what I remember, both on very well manicured golf courses, similar time of year, and they can only look but so different. The trees are different, obviously, and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, you're playing on a golf course. It's going to be really green. It's going to be really nice. And I think that the first year they were both on tour, if I'm remembering correctly, they were right after each other or very close to each other. And it was in a stretch of a lot of golf courses. And so I think ever since then,
it felt like the same event. I remember.
Because if you told me Portland Open's the Roller Open, I'd be like, yeah.
Well, it made it make it even more confusing. Simon won both of them, correct?
Last year.
Right.
Yeah. But I'm thinking 2 years ago when Eagles had in his dominant stretch, the OTB Open and the Portland Open, that's when they really started blending together. But they farther meshed together more and more. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I enjoy these style courses. I think they make very entertaining disc golf. But I think one of the difficulties of them, and they're getting better at it. But one of the difficulties is making them more memorable and recognizable, because that's a big thing in spectating disc golf on coverage, especially when you're not there, is trying to picture the holes in your head. Like, you want to be able to know what's coming up, know what holes have been played already. Like, that like makes you feel more immersed.
Yeah.
And it's harder to do that when you're now having to do that twice. Cause like
we switch the courses every year.
Yeah.
Drastic changes to courses.
Yeah.
It's one thing, like USDGC hole 1 at one point moved over to hole 3. But like hole 1 at USDGC has had a bunch of different iterations, but it's all hole 1. So like they've had it up on the stump, they've had it straight, they've had it down to the right, they've had it up to the left, but you're looking the same. And you know from hole 1, you know where you're going to hole 2. Same thing for hole 2. They've pulled the basket farther back, farther forward, they put mozzarella, but it's still hole 2. Hole 3, 4, 5. They've made some drastic changes, and I never liked any of them that happened, but like you get to hole 5, and some years there's a Mando, some years there's not a Mando, but you know you're throwing over the water. And to your point, like that helps with recognition of like when you're playing down and on the final round and stuff, you know what's coming next.
Yeah.
When you go to courses like this and you change it up every year, and then this year you add a second course on the same property and all this stuff, and you constantly are shifting stuff, it feels like I watch more disc golf than probably 95% of disc golfers, and I'm going to be confused. So if I'm a casual disc golf watcher where like I just kind of catch a round or two on Jomez every weekend, like I kind of just watch the final round or two and that's it. That's all I watch disc golf. I mean, the frick if I know, like no wonder we can't have a like established history of events and stuff. We can't even keep the courses the same.
Yeah. The in the caddy book, and I could have read this completely wrong, but they're letting regular AMs play the other course on the day it's like on West. They'll open up East for people to play. So it's going to make it even more difficult for pros. Say they don't remember a hole and they want to go check it out, that there's going to be amateurs out there throwing.
Is like the Portland Open, do they have like an AM side? Is that what's going on?
Doing a flex start, a C-tier flex start like the day before.
Like they're doing that, but then also
the day before the event starts?
I think it was on Wednesday. Yeah.
What?
I'll find it again. I saw that earlier. They got a bunch of stuff going.
Well, let's just throw this back in their face. This is an Elite Plus event.
Yeah.
Right? So elite events, silver events.
What are you talking about? Professional golf tournaments do stuff like this all the time.
But is it for the pros playing in it?
I don't know. Let me look.
Or is
No,
it
it's
flex
for the
start?
AMs.
Yeah,
It's for the AMs.
like I could roll up to this flex start.
Yeah.
So
It's supposed to be like part of why you would buy tickets for this event, like when it goes.
But I'm saying if I'm Brody Smith, if I'm Calvin Heimberg, and I want to go play my practice round on that course on Wednesday,
Let me look at this schedule.
you can't play it.
No.
Like that's so dumb.
They're really much. We're looking at the info and like the schedule. They're very much pitching the idea. They're doing public tee times open Tuesday through Sunday. So there's going to be tee time. So I guess maybe that's why they're switching courses. Like let the public out there.
Yeah, they're letting the public like play on the other course that's not being.
I didn't really track that earlier, but now I'm starting to think. Let me look at the schedule.
Tuesday,
Okay.
Sunday. So like right now, randos are out on the course.
So here's the schedule. Let's look at this. So
How did I miss
Tuesday
all of this?
running a
How are people not tweeting about
from
this?
9 a.m. So
I guess 'cause I'm not
today,
tweeting about it. That's why people
read the
aren't tweeting
caddy
about
book.
today's Wednesday. So yesterday from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. you could play the West course tee times, and then from 1 to 3 you could play the East course tee time. So like you as a player, you don't have to be on the course at the same time as them. Like that's around them. And then there was a qualifier at 4 p.m. on the East course yesterday.
Qualifiers, I understand. Monday or Tuesday qualifying event.
I mean, it's not that hard to avoid them. Like it's 2 hours worth of tee
okay,
times.
but now 2 hours worth of tee times. They're going to be out on the course for playing relatively slow, probably because you're a bunch of AMs who shouldn't be on the course for hours. And now you're condensing the field and saying, hey, entire field, you now have to practice in these specific windows on these specific courses.
Hey man, they're trying to make profit. I don't know. Today they had a
Sell more ads then. Don't let that doesn't make any sense.
They had a flex C tier today at 8 a.m. on the West course.
But a flex start, what's the last tee time?
11 a.m.
So 8 to 11, you can't start practice. You can't start practice really till 12 something on that course.
It's definitely interesting. Oh, and they're doing a flex C tier on the East course at 3 o'clock today. And OTB Skins is at 2:30. It does seem like there's a lot going on.
They're out here doing the
OTB
most.
Skins should never be on tour courses. First off, I'll throw that out.
Oh shoot!
I don't think that should ever be on a tour course because at USDGC, when we showed up, you had champs versus chumps trying to go down. You had a skins match trying to go down. And then you had players trying to film content, which that's a whole separate thing. But it was just kind of thrown in the mix of a normal practice round. So if you just chose, and so back then a lot of that wasn't posted. So you just chose your tee time. I want to go practice at 1 p.m. You could show up and be behind a group of 50 amateurs doing champs versus chump.
It does. It's like one of those weird things because like
that can happen, have the same experience on a different course. Milo is 20 minutes away. Very historic course.
Could you even
electric?
Could you even wait till after the tournament's over?
Oh, but they want pros for the skins match.
I mean, yeah, like some
But then the pros have to stay an
involved.
extra day. The pros can just if they keep the pros on today's Wednesday, event starts tomorrow. Pros right now, hey, we're doing this skins match. They're in it to win money because you're not really getting good practice during a skins match. You're getting some practice, but it's not like a good practice.
I don't know
round.
if they would agree.
Well, a lot of pros haven't agreed to skins matches because they want to practice anyways.
Yeah.
So I'm saying you're already getting a certain category of pro and saying, hey, we're just going to do it at Milo so that we're not bothering the rest of the field.
I think
this flex start,
I think
this flex start the dumbest thing I've ever heard of.
The Pro Tour, I'd be curious to know what's actually in. I should look at the ticket packages and see, because I think what the Pro Tour, if they're smart, they're using, like, they use OTB skins already as a part of your ticket packages you can buy. So that's why they like OTB skins, is because it sells them more tickets.
I love it. Just don't do it on the tour course and make it where pros can't practice or have to practice around it, or do it on a Monday.
Well, I mean, I would agree with you if the pros are complaining. I haven't heard anything yet. I mean, this seems like the most extreme. I'd be curious to see. Okay, let's see if I get tickets, what I can get. Okay, here we go. Full event VIP pass for the Portland Open. It gives you an entry to Portland Open for all 4 days of competition, plus general admission access to Autograph Day. You get, okay. And then this is Wednesday pass plus OTP skins. VIP pass. I don't think any of these seem to include like the flex start or anything like that. So I don't.
Is the Pro Tour the one running the flex start?
That's what I'm more so wondering. I'm thinking what's probably happening is the Pro Tour wants to use Glendoveer, and Glendoveer said, listen, if you're going to bring all these disc golfers to our course, we're going to make some money out of it. You're going to run tee times, and we're going to collect the money. That's probably what happened. And like, if you're Glendoveer, like, I mean, they're trying to get some skin in the game.
I mean, if you're the Pro
Makes
Tour,
sense.
deuces.
Hey,
Like
I don't know. I'm not going to have it. I'm not going to take
It's
issue with it.
also it's an Elite Plus event. So they're trying to tell us this is more important.
Well,
this is treated more special.
One of the big things they said about Elite Plus event is enhanced spectator opportunities. I think
This
the Elite
sounds
Plus event
enhanced
is
to me.
why they're doing it. It's not in spite of it. It is why they're doing this.
I hate everything about
So
that.
is it hurting or helping the Pro Tour?
Hurting. Well, the Pro
no,
Tour,
it hurts.
monetarily is probably helping.
Yeah.
The prestige of the event, the player experience,
Prestige
hurt.
of the event.
It hurts it.
Why?
Because the players can't practice as much. It's not, the course isn't shut down.
They probably can practice almost just
But-
until I hear from a player that said, yeah, practice was a nightmare, then I'm not gonna.
Why is the Masters so prestigious? What if Augusta had random flex starts going on leading up to the Masters?
Well, yeah, but we can't afford it. We
What's
can't
so
afford to
prestigious
play
is you
it.
can't play
It's a
it.
public golf course. You can
But
play
it's
it
not
all
normally-
year round.
It's not normally this disc golf layout. It's like Winthrop with the ropes up.
Yeah, but like it's not that prestigious of a like it's a.
But I'm
public
just saying,
golf
if
course.
that's what we're trying, if Elite Plus events are trying to be prestigious,
I don't think
why are we
that's
running
what
flex
Elite
starts?
Plus events are doing at all. I think Elite Plus events are trying to be enhanced spectator events. I think they are trying to be the future of it. I think they are trying to get their money into this, get spectators there to give them money because that's what they should be doing. And I think this is a way to get more spectators. And I'm okay with them trying it for one event.
I'm not.
You got to try things. If the players
How about we
hate it,
try shutting down the course and let players only?
I mean,
How about we try that?
you got to be a little more open minded. If the players hate it, it's one event. Our sport is very young, and then just don't do it again.
But this has happened multiple times at other places. I mean, there's been times where players have shown up and had to be carted off by police because the course was shut down and they couldn't play it the week before Worlds in Emporia,
different.
Kansas.
These are structured tee times that they are planning out. It's not like they're just letting anything happen willy nilly.
I understand that, but it's still telling all of these players you can't practice in this time slot for an event that has an enhanced purse and is worth more points. We're dictating when you can't. If I have a morning tee time,
Players have to get practice tee times at PGA Tour events. Like that's not a new thing to like. This is when you need to practice.
But that's new to the disc golf. Disc golfers aren't getting practice tee times right now.
Well, maybe they are. Maybe they should be. I'm just throwing ideas out there.
Okay, but if they're getting practice tee times, then AMs shouldn't be getting tee times at the same place because now you're backed up. You're backing up the course. You're gonna have literal probably backups on holes because
I'm just saying,
850 rated players trying to throw. This is already a long course. We've seen Andrew Presnell and the whole FPO field complain about how long it is. You're throwing an 850 rated guy out there and telling him he's not going to take 7 hours.
I'm just saying we talk over and over again about ways to get spectators events. I think this is an idea that they're trying, and I'm fine with trying it because I have not heard any players say anything negative about it yet.
I don't even know if it's happened yet.
Brody,
Today is the first day.
I'm sure Brody. No, it was yesterday that there.
It started on Wednesday.
The flex start was today. The tee times.
I'm saying the flex
yesterday.
start.
So you're okay with the other thing?
No, I'm not okay with any of it.
Okay,
but
I'm just
especially
saying.
the flex.
I think we would have got a text from Brody saying this practice situation is a nightmare if it was, and we didn't.
All right.
It's a nightmare waiting to happen.
Well,
maybe or maybe not. Like maybe it ends up being a great idea.
we're going to go ahead and I'm just going to let you know the weather looks nice.
That's great.
Weather looks great.
I'm glad the AMs are going to have great weather for their flex.
Yeah, it looks like it's actually going to be kind of sunny, and it's going to be clear, and it's going to be about 75 degrees. It's going to be beautiful weather, but it is going to be a little bit humid, so bring some chalk. All right, so for our MPO headlines, the Rick, he's back. He won Discraft Cascade Challenge, and then the week before, his first tournament back in who knows how long, Beaver State Fling got 11th. How are we liking him in this event?
I don't mind him. I think the big key here is last week he said this, which it's, of course, he had to take a grain of salt. This is post-win. So you don't know how much he's very happy post-win, but he said it was his first time feeling 100% back. That's great. I think that this course, it's going to cater a little bit to that like bomber crowd. Not that Rick's not a part of that, but like you don't typically just throw Rick into, oh, this is a bomber course. Rick's going to do very well. But Rick at his best, one of, if not the best golfer in the world, he can play at any course. So I don't hate him at this event by any means. I don't think he's my favorite to win, but I expect a round or two on lead card and him in contention a little bit. He very easily could walk away with the win here. I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, it'll just depend on, the players that have success at this course are going to hit fairways. I mean, there's plenty of OB and hazards, and Rick is, plenty capable of that. He also can throw rollers. He has pretty much all of the shots. So he's not a bomber, and like the course looks pretty long, but he has plenty of distance. It's not like he's not capable. You wouldn't like pencil him in as a favorite, but if you predicting him to win would not be crazy. It's Ricky Wysocki. He just came off a win. Like, he can win anywhere on tour. I believe that for sure.
Right, and this being a golf course, we typically think of fast greens and a lot of rollers. And the last time we mentioned rollers, Isaac Robinson was not even in the conversation. In fact, I think we actually said that this wasn't going to suit him. And the last time we did that, he absolutely shut us up. It was top 3. Do you think that with his technical and hyzer shots, I know you're a big fan of those, do you think that he'll be able to navigate this course well?
He did. I mean, different course, but he played well on this property last year. I think I'm definitely done underestimating Isaac Robinson at any course.
Sounds smart.
Like clearly his game is just good enough that because he's an accurate thrower and a really good putter at his best, and so even at a course where he can just stay out of the OB and make his putts, and at a course like this where you have a lot of long par 4s and 5s and even 3s, where you might see a lot of guys with circle 2 putts, and that. That's where he can excel. So there's definitely opportunity that if he gets this putter going and is making those 40, 50 footers, that he could finish well. I'm not going to underestimate him in this event.
I still stand by. I think it was the OTB we underestimated him, right? I believe that was the event. I still stand by that course doesn't suit his game. I think that's a fair thing to say. I think he is just a very good golfer and he plays his game regardless of where he's at. We're going to see that again this weekend. And on a course like this, again, it doesn't play in favor of him. That doesn't mean he's not going to do very well out there. But I think what it does play in favor of is his OB rate has a chance to be one of the lowest in the field. And that's where you can make up if you don't have the distance. Like, AB's got distance on him. But if AB's spraying at OB, it doesn't matter if you're 200 feet up the fairway from Isaac Robinson if Isaac Robinson's at the fairway.
Right.
AB doesn't have that much more distance on him, but you get the point. So I think like if he keeps it in bounds and his putter's hot, there's really not a course he can't score at out there, because we say he doesn't have a lot of distance. He is a great Pro Tour player. He has more distance than pretty much everyone listening to this podcast right now, myself included. He has plenty of distance to compete on the Pro Tour. He's just not in that upper echelon that makes distance courses play a lot easier. So he has plenty of distance to score out there. He can keep it in the fairway, and he's going to make his putts. It's just, will one of the distance guys also keep it in the fairway and make their putts? If they do, they're a lot more heavily favored. But if people are going OB and he's not, that's a real quick way to even the playing field.
Yeah, absolutely. In OTB, we actually, I had favorited Simon for that event, and he ended up coming in 51st, which I did not
I favored
expect.
Eagle, and he missed cash.
Yeah, Simon also. Was Eagle higher or lower than Simon?
I don't know. Neither of them are worth talking about the finishing place, because they both sucked.
Yeah.
They both missed cash.
Well, Simon won OTB, and he won this event last year. Mm-hmm. Is he going to bounce back? How can he bounce back from this?
I mean, again, Simon's one of the players you put in that distance conversation. That's why we thought OTB. Now, I will say, to my credit, I don't think this had anything to do with why Simon played bad. I did say with how many rollers are expected and a new bag, I don't know if this will go well for Simon. Didn't go well. I don't know if that's why it didn't go well, but Portland Open, I think that there might be also a little bit of added pressure in Simon's head of like, you won here last year. Can you do it again? Can you defend your title? There's definitely added pressure to defending a title. But I mean, this course plays well for Simon. It's just with Simon, he's one of the more inconsistent players in my opinion still, where when he's at his best, when he's in contention, no one can really touch him. But one little thing go off in his game, like his putt's just a little right one day.
It messes with his mental game.
I think then he's kind of quick to shut down and pull back. And I think that that's how you can see him slip and fall so far down the leaderboard. Not that he's like mentally weak or anything. It's just like, if he's in contention and he's vibing and he's feeling it, I feel like then he gets a lot of momentum and carries it. But then that also kind of works in a negative, adverse way, where like, if he's just like missing putts a little bit, or jump putts he thinks are going to go in aren't going in, sometimes he's just like, it's not my weekend. It's not your weekend. It's not your weekend. And he just kind of lets the chips fall where they may. So, you know, I think that with the distance players, that kind of happens with a lot of them, where like Double G, Eagle McMahon, Anthony Barella, Simon Lizotte, I think a lot of them, and I probably missed several there, but a lot of them I would say the same thing about, where like, if they're on and it's their weekend, no one will touch them at this course. But if they're off, they could easily fall outside the top 30. And that's how I think Simon this weekend. I think he could win. He could be in 40th.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I think Simon, he's not a player that I take much stock in if he has a really bad finish, like 51st. Like, that doesn't mean anything to me, because he's more of a track record guy when you look at his season. Like, you know, I don't expect him to be like a top 3 all year with a few wins. I expect him to have like a couple wins and then just jumbled mess in between. You know, that's just kind of how his game works, it seems. So yeah, I don't really take much from it. I think he has a great chance to win this event.
Okay.
Yeah.
Going into FPO, the Estonian Gladiator is back. That is the nickname I'm now giving Kristen Tatar.
Nice.
After her break. I think you're stupid if you don't take her as a favorite.
I mean, yes and no. Yes and no. I think that this course is the big thing against her. Mainly because a lot of times distance is what players have on Kristen. So it kind of goes back to the Isaac Robinson character, right? Kristen Tatar and Isaac Robinson, similar in a lot of aspects. Kristen, I think, is in a field where being consistent wins out a lot more than it doesn't. Than MPO, being consistent, you have to be consistent at a different level. But I think Kristen Tatar is in a similar boat where like players are going to be throwing farther than her. Every card she's on, there's probably going to be someone that's throwing farther than Kristen. She has plenty of distance to compete, and if she's keeping it in the fairway, making her putts like she can, yeah, she easily could walk away with the winner. But when a course brings in this much distance, I think it kind of levels the playing field a little more, because it plays to a lot of other players' strengths. And it seems with Kristen, this is kind of how it was with Paul back in the day. Once you get a little bit of an edge on her, you realize, oh, she's human. And once you realize she's human, that intimidation factor of she's untouchable goes away. And once that goes away, now you're just playing disc golf. So I think if the right person does that to her early, then I think she'll be in contention. She's always in contention, but I'm not saying that she's a runaway favorite in my opinion.
But see, I would have to disagree with that, because you just stated she is one of the most consistent FPO players out there. You can throw 100 feet further than her on any given day. But if she's playing more consistent than you, I feel like consistency beats distance in this one, especially.
On certain courses. But I think that if a distance player has one weekend that they're consistent, she can't compete.
Yeah, I mean, I think that is kind of true, but like we saw that happen with Ella Hansen at the beginning of the year, and like eventually it all comes back.
Well, yeah, Ella Hansen fell apart.
Yeah, I just feel like I don't know that there's a distance player in the FPO field that has what it takes. Like, it's one thing if they get a big lead, but if Kristen can hang around, and I think there's just too much OB and hazard at this course.
That's what I'm saying. No other FPO player, I think, has proven to have the distance and the consistency to compete.
But I mean,
See when it gets to my picks.
it is, and like you look at last year, I mean, Val Mandujano won, not a distance player. So
But we have to put some
I
credit
think
to the
she throws
different
even-
course.
She throws even a
Because-
little bit, but it's going to have a similar feel.
I've seen a lot of players complaining about the distance of this
she
course. I
ain't
didn't see
here.
it last year. Now, on the caddy book, I agree. It doesn't seem that drastic to me,
not.
personally. But for some reason, it feels drastic because maybe people are just being louder this year than they were last year. Maybe they felt the same way last year. But I feel like it's getting in people's heads a lot more this year about the distance at this place. Again, maybe it's uphill, downhill that we can't see on the caddy book or something, because it doesn't seem that drastic. It also doesn't seem that drastic to other courses they've played this year, to be completely honest with you. But for some reason, we're hearing it a lot more going into this week than we are other weeks.
I think when they open up the course, maybe when they throw in some OB that like people feel like they have to carry or something, that like maybe that's what drains them. But yeah, I don't know. I just like, there's no guarantees in FPO. Even with Kristen around, there's still no guarantees. And like, I'm not going to my jaw will not be on the floor if anybody wins out of that field, really. I mean, that's just kind of how it is. But I would still have to favor her just because she'll probably keep it in bounds more than anybody else. And I mean, of the distance throwers we have, I mean, there is like Holland Hanley, for example, somebody that people would like at this course. She has such an astounding amount of birdies this year. I think she has more birdies than she's been further under par than like anybody other than Kristen. I think she has more birdies than Kristen. But like,
Kristen's farther under par.
Yeah, well, you guys got to, you just got to be able to putt and you got to be able to minimize mistakes. And like, there's just certain players that can't do that. So yeah, that's just how it is right now.
Right. And you mentioned Valerie Mandujano. She is not going to be here this weekend, so she won't be competing. But she announced 6 days ago on her Instagram that she is going to be back for the Dynamic Disc Open.
Yeah,
so
very exciting to have her back in the field.
That's going to be wild.
I'm fascinated to see.
Like 5 months later, after she said she was out 6 to 8 weeks,
She's probably going to have a
3 to 4
bionic
weeks.
ankle at this point. Now, I'm very curious to see what Valerie Mandujano shows back up. Like, what does 5 months off do to her game? Is she going to be a killer, just hungry, chomping at the bit, or is it going to be like a tentative player that just like...
I just want to know what happened to her ankle.
I mean, have you seen that UV meteor that just dropped? It's good. It's very
Free
good.
advertising?
Yeah,
You guys are on their
It's
payroll.
good. It's good, man.
What is that? So that's the key? She's going to win with that thing?
Yeah. Also,
Okay.
I want one. All right. So now it's time to go into our bold predictions presented by Third Wave Coffee. Hunter, what you got for us, man?
Yeah, so Third Wave Coffee is committed to ethical and sustainable sources for all their coffee, and they have 20 single origin coffees from all over the world in stock right now. Plus, they just released the new Bogey Bro blend a little bit ago. It's all I've been drinking for quite a while, and I absolutely love it. It was actually tasted and approved by myself, Trevor, and Connor. It's perfect for all of you who are looking to dip your toes in the specialty coffee scene, or if you're already knee deep in the specialty coffee scene and you're looking for a nice blend, it's a good option there too. And they're also offering just to our listeners 20% off your order with code DISCGOLF. One word, DISCGOLF gets you 20% off your orders. Head to third-wave.coffee to pick something up for yourself today. I'll just go with my bold prediction. I've hinted at it quite a bit, the distance out here. I'm going to say... I'm going to set the over-under line, and I'm taking the over on this, by the way, at 5. I'm taking over 5 posts that cite the distance for the reason of their poor play after the event. That's my bold prediction. More than 5.
So are you going to tweet about it first to get it rolling, and then...
No, I'm letting it happen.
Oh,
How many posts have you already seen?
No,
But
post-event.
how many have you seen already?
I've already seen 3 or 4.
Okay.
But I'm saying post-event, I think we're going to see more than 5 people. And it's going to be very subtle. It's going to be very subtle. where it's just
the
like,
distance got to me.
where it's just like,
My arm got tired
yeah,
out.
I just got burned out there. You know, when we're playing courses that require this much distance week in and week out, it's hard to keep your body like that type of pose is what I'm saying. We're gonna see more than 5 of them.
It's like a slice of humble pie to go on social media and basically admit you don't throw far enough. I don't know. That's tough.
But I think we're gonna see 5.
I like that. Okay.
More than 5. Are y'all taking the over the under on it?
I'll take.
think
Well,
the
I
line's
mean,
too low.
every disc golfer who
the-
finishes outside the top 30 makes some kind of excuse. So I mean, I'll probably take the over as well.
Heck yeah.
Like I don't know.
You riding the over or the under?
Yeah, I'm riding the over.
I didn't think the line good enough.
Basically, one of my favorite things in life is reading the disc golf like tournament recap.
They're fantastic.
because they're hilarious. Like everybody loves just sneak in because it's like, you know how when you play disc golf tournaments and everybody comes back after round 1 and starts just like spewing excuses, and everybody does it, even myself. Like we all do it because things happen to you on the golf course that are just silly.
It's golf. There's luck involved.
Yeah, it's golf. And it's my favorite thing seeing that like translate to the pro level on social media. Like guys, they don't even realize they're doing it. It just like they type it.
Yeah.
Like, it just happens. It's very funny to me.
I think a better line would have been 7.
7?
I think
Oh,
7.
gosh.
7 gets scary.
That's
Yeah.
I'm
It's
feeling
like-
like 6. 6 is where I'm like
All right. No,
my bold
all right.
prediction, we have a cut at this tournament, 3 rounds and then a cut, and I think the cut it spooks people. I think that at least one top 10 player in the world rankings will miss the cut in both MPO and FPO divisions.
I like that. What do you feel about the cut after 3? Should it be after 2?
I think the FPO having a cut at all is a little interesting. Well, it's not really that interesting because like half the field is only going to be in the tournament at that point, but the field's already so small that it's like interesting. But I think that I understand why they do the cut after 3 because they're trying to not short people, which is like,
Well, we're on a tour.
I think
Professional tour.
well, I'll say this much because the fact that they're switching courses after 2 rounds, then I think it makes the most sense to make the cut after 2 rounds.
Sure.
No, after 2 rounds.
Oh,
Because
they
Give
should
them
go
a
1
brand
and
new
1.
layout.
I think
for the event,
I think
for the rest of the event.
I think if they were either way, I think it makes sense to go 2 rounds just because if you're going every other, then like you get the full selection. But this way, you know.
But then if you're really good at only one of the courses,
but it's weird to like have 2 and 1 and then a cut. Like
it's weird to have 2 and 2 as the format. In general.
I don't know. It's just like having the cut at a place that doesn't. It makes it so that one course was played more than another, and then a cut. That's weird to me.
At any other event where the courses are significantly different, I would say that would matter. But since they're so similar, I don't really think it's a big
Well, we
deal.
think they're similar, but we haven't seen them played yet. They might have very different feels.
but I'd be shocked. But I, in my opinion, it should go east or west first. So east, then west, cut, east, west.
That would make
Yeah.
the most sense to me.
Yeah.
I like the cut after 2 rounds.
West, west, cut, west, west.
Or that. That's what I would
East,
prefer.
cut, east, east.
I've never liked the excuse of, well, you know, people traveled, they paid the entry fee, we got to give them as much golf as possible.
Yeah.
It's like, well, these should be touring professionals playing this event
It is
for the most part, or they just qualified. But like, for the most part, you're catering to the touring professionals.
Yeah.
They're going to play next weekend.
I would love to see in the future, like once coverage gets more expanded. I mean, the 2 things they're waiting on is A, they're just waiting for a deeper tour to make things more cutthroat. And then B, they're waiting for our coverage capabilities to get better.
Yes, that's a huge one.
Because right now, like a big part of the cut in golf is you are getting down from threesomes to twosomes, which is just, it's electric having like those duels and the pairings. And I think it's enjoyable for the players to only have 2 people on the hole at a time. Once our coverage gets better, because right now it's like we need to pack as many players into a card as possible because we can only cover so many cards.
Yeah.
But once that gets better and we can really see everything that we need to see with more cameras, then I would love to see them cut for the purpose of lessening the players on a card. It makes it feel a little more special. But who knows? I think it's cool that they're doing a cut. You know, at least
Yeah, I'm happy they're the cut.
They're implementing that at least.
I think you should get even bolder and give us a prediction for who in the
gets
top
cut?
10 for MPO and FPO.
I'd have to
I need to look up, while you're looking that up,
glance at the rank.
was Las Vegas not a 4-round event?
No, it was.
Okay, I thought so. On debate night the other day, someone said, Elite Plus, it's finally a 4-round event.
and I
And I was sitting
corrected
there,
them.
and I was like, well, but I didn't think they weren't convinced. And I was like, maybe Vegas wasn't. Because they were saying like that was one of the big things for Elite Plus events. They're 4 rounds.
See, now
I
you
was like-
keep saying it. Now I feel like I have to like do it again.
I'll look at it. I'll look it
Okay,
up.
you do that. I'll look at the rankings.
I was like, other Elite events can be 4 rounds.
top
It's
10
not just-
players that I would be weary of getting cut. Simon, Kyle Klein, those are probably the two that I could see. I could also
But
see,
they could also both win it.
yeah, I mean, the guys in the top 10, like anybody in here could probably win.
Kyle could definitely sneak this
But
one out.
MPO is tough. The FPO,
Yeah, they had 4 rounds. And wait a minute.
I mean,
And there was a cut in Vegas.
yeah, 4 rounds.
rounds of
cut.
cut.
I mean, like I could see Paige Pierce getting cut, and she's second in the world. Like, I mean, it's impossible to predict. Katrina Allen at number 6 as well. Like,
Katrina Allen's the one I have in
could get
mind.
cut. Like, I mean, there's just some really good players that have put in some really bad performances this year, and when you throw that cut in there, if they have a bad round 1 and 2, and then all of a sudden have to think about that cut line. Yeah, that gets iffy. And then sometimes people get close to that cut line too, and they're thinking like, do I really want to do this another day and not just get out of town when I'm not even going to cash it?
I'm gonna make like $300.
Make a couple $100, and it's like, yeah, because like that's a whole thing. It's like, that is the thing about the 2-day cut that's even more brutal. Is like now. And on like the PGA Tour, making a cut is a pretty big deal as far as the amount of money you're going to make. But if it's like an absolute shootout and you're so far off the pace of like good money, and you're thinking to yourself like, man, do I really want to stay in the middle of nowhere at the Cascade Challenge?
Yeah, I got to spend 2 more days at an Airbnb.
Yeah,
I got to spend another $350 for a chance to win 200.
Play 2 more rounds. I don't really like this course. Maybe like that becomes the thing. Is like, man, I can just miss 1 putt and I don't have to worry about playing the rest of the weekend. I don't think anybody's really thinking that way.
No.
But I don't know though. There's some players that just DNF if they don't like how things are going. So you never know.
And then they're going to post about the distance.
Yeah, they're gonna hate that.
All right, Trevor, we're going to start with you. What are your MPO predictions for this weekend?
Yes. So pretty tough weekend. No Paul, so I don't have to worry about getting any weird hunches anymore. This time it's like one of the first times I didn't get any weird hunches, like sitting here at the desk where I scribbled something out. So I at least I have like, this is the actual things I guessed before the show started. I've got in third place. This is a very much just a consistent setup here. Just going for effectiveness. I got Gannon in third. I'm going to go with Ricky in second. I love Rick's consistency at a course where people could have like up and down rounds, and I see that with all the trouble on this course.
Not enough, apparently.
And then I like Eagle winning. I'm really riding that wave right now. He had that win a little bit ago, and I like him at this event. He's won it before. I'm liking Eagle right now, and he throws really far. That is a big part of it. So yeah, that's what I got.
I also have Eagle winning.
Okay.
That's where we split ways. Third place, I have Calvin Heimberg.
Okay.
Coming in third. I feel like I need to sneak him into my top 3.
Yeah.
Second place, I went kind of risky. I risked it for the biscuit.
Okay.
I went with Anthony Barella coming in second place.
I tried doing that at OTB and it didn't work.
I like his game. I don't like his putt, but I'm hoping that doesn't matter.
I tried that at OTB and it didn't work. But I
tried Eagle at OTB and it didn't work. So
yeah,
I'm just kind of just winging it all out here.
I like it. He could.
It's just AB could, if there was a time for AB to finish good, this is one of his last chances.
Sure.
And so I like it. I'm riding with it.
Right.
I mean, you're down 5 points, man.
That's fine.
You got to make that up
that's
somehow.
That's just one major.
Yeah.
We got European Open in a few weeks. I picked the winner. I'm back.
There you go. All right, so what do you got for your dark horse?
Dark horse, I'm going with, I think, the most obvious one, 31st in the world, Double G, Garrett Gerthy. Probably should have won it last year, I believe it was.
He's gonna be haunted by that course.
Choked it away, but I don't need him to win. I just need him to play well. I haven't won a dark horse in like a month, so.
Yeah, historically, that's usually the only thing I can do correct. My dark horse, I'm going risky here, and I'm going back to Brody Smith.
Snap!
He played well.
Back.
He played well at Portland last year. Anytime there's a lot of golf to be played, a lot of decision making involved, and I think I see that at this course. He does well at those events. He proved that. He's proved that this season already, and he had a decent finish last week at the Cascade Challenge. I think
He also has
15th.
some pressure. He was tweeting only has a few events to qualify for the European Open, or else he can't go over there.
I don't like that necessarily, but let's see if we'll rise to the occasion.
Yeah.
But I like him at this event. I mostly like that I think there's a lot of decision making at this course. And so as long as Brody's throw is okay, which I think it has been lately, I really could see him taking like a top 20 at this event for sure.
That's going to be
Good thing
really...
Double G's going to take a top 10.
Hey,
Maybe.
Go.
Might.
All right, guys.
To beat.
That's going to go ahead and wrap it
We
up.
got our FPO predictions, man.
FPO?
Yeah, we didn't. I didn't predict
I
FPO
apologize.
yet.
That's like 2 weeks in a row.
Yeah,
This guy's
what the
trying to
heck?
skip FBO.
I'm sorry.
Unbelievable.
I'm
You know what? I
sorry.
think we won't start it. We won't start something. Trevor,
right,
what's
what do
your
you
FPO
got?
predictions?
FPO is an absolute grab bag. I'm actually going kind of risk. I'm starting safe. I have Kristen winning.
Okay.
I'm just gonna have to play that because I feel like that's just the odds are in that way. But I'm going kind of my second and third are kind of the same thought process. I'm taking Holland Hanley in second. I think a lot of people will favor her. It wouldn't surprise me if you picked her to win. And then I'm actually going to go with Ella Hansen in third. She has not been super consistent after her showing at Waco, but I have this feeling that she's kind of due. And I think that her and Holland as a 1-2 punch in my top three. I wouldn't surprise if one of them ends up in there, just because they throw far. So I'm gonna go with that one, because if the distance is really bad, if it is like a serious factor, that is when I see Ella sneaking her way back in.
I put Holland Hanley in third place. I like her in the top three, but I don't like her winning. I have her in third place. I put Miss Kristen Tatar in second place for the reasons I stated earlier in the show. And I saw something in the GOAT, Miss Paige Pierce, at OTB Open that just
did you see something
has
in the
me,
GOAT, bro?
No, after OTB Open. I watched OTB Open. She seemed like she had her fire back, and I don't think she liked the fact that post her win, she was hearing some chirping of, didn't beat Kristen, though.
That's true.
And I think this course, I used to think these type of courses don't play well for Paige. I've said that enough, and I've been proven wrong enough. I'm flipping. I think this course is going to play well for Paige.
I
can't even say it. I don't believe what I'm saying, but I'm saying it. I think this course is going to play well for Paige. I think Paige has a chip on her shoulder. I think she's going to come out with a vengeance, and Paige with a vengeance is the Paige Pierce of old that we used to see, where all she cared about was winning. And I think that's who we're going to see this weekend. I think Paige is win or not win. If Paige wins, it validates her OTB Open win. If she loses to Kristen, then people have a reason to say, well, this is a very similar event. You couldn't have done it when Kristen was there. So I think that she has that all in her mind. I think that she's going to show up, rise to the occasion, shut the haters up, and take down a win.
It could happen. I don't hate that pick at all. I don't hate it. Don't hate it.
Well, I
don't like it, but I picked it.
Okay. Sometimes that you need to do, though.
All right. Well, I hope I didn't miss anything else. My apologies.
We got our AM predictions for the flex start.
Yeah. I got Billy Bob. I got Johnny Two Fingers coming in hot round of 15 over par at 4.5 hours.
That's funny.
Yeah, what about you?
No, I don't make any predictions for that.
Dang.
Didn't even come prepared, man.
Didn't even care about the
hate to see it, man. All right, well, guys, we'll get out and watch the Portland Open this weekend, and we'll see you in the next preview show.